15 players are through to the knockout stage of Roulette Rivals 17, and we are looking for number 16. Hello and welcome to this Swiss Stage 6 match on the second to last day of the Swiss stage of Roulette Rivals 17. And Aphro versus Lord Munk is the final decider of this stage, and the winner will be advancing to the knockouts. The loser will be eliminated. And there is one more player, Hausen, who is looking for that very unlikely draw to hope that he will be the 16th spot. And speaking of spots, because I guess that's the only way I can just mention this one, but we have Spot the Cat here with an amazing Swiss stage here, but now in the knockout stage as well, and in the co-caster booth as well. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Very glad to have you here. It's gonna be very exciting. 2.5 points for these two players. The winner will be on 3.5, of course, which we didn't know for sure at the beginning of the tournament, or really 2 rounds ago, if that would be enough. But luckily it is, luckily for these players as well. And this put, I think both of these players have had very interesting paths and very interesting gameplay, very nice gameplay as well. Do you have any experiences casting them or playing against them or anything like that?
I like casted Afro maybe once or twice, but Lord Monk I have not played or casted, so it will be very interesting to see because yeah, he's like he did start playing after I took a break, so I've not seen anything from them. But like being a player like with the shot top 16 is very impressive, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing them play.
I think both of them have had such interesting stories. Afro is a hardworking member of the community, lots of admins, lots of casts, and she said to me at least, but I think she's outspoken about it, wanting to improve, and she's one person who is turning after turning better and better, and you could see that after getting the first wins, almost getting to the knockout stage of the World Championship, and lots of great results, especially in community events, and now on the verge of, I think, her best result, because she has been like top 30 but never top 16. So this is one of the biggest matches for her. I hope she's not too nervous. And Monk is the person with, I think, the most interesting path in this tournament, because the R stats page is very empty, so I have to check the spreadsheet for the full page as well, if I can find it. Round 1 is a forfeit win, round 2 is a loss to PG, round 3 is a forfeit win, round 4 is a forfeit loss, and round 5 is a tie, a 5-5 tie. So Monk has played 8 maps. He wanted to play a lot more, but only 8 maps, and hoping to win 3 more to advance the knockout stage.
You know, I saw that. Like, I went to look at the RS17. I was like, where are the points? I was like, yeah, I was confused because he lost in a tie. But yeah, that's ooh, I think that is definitely a little scary for Monk because he hasn't been able to get that experience. Do feel bad for him there.
Yeah, he's sorry, lacking the match experience, but I remember him. He's played RR7 and 14, so that's already 2 huge breaks. I think he rarely plays, but when he plays, he's hard on that grind. So I think he has the practice, just not the match experience, which is going to be very interesting to see. So it begins in Berlin. Afro wanted to pick this map, I think, before knowing her opponent, but she likes the map. She likes to do well on it, and picked it with a big difference in experience between her and Monk, 3-3 and 1-1. Gonna add some audio here as well. I think PG is our admin, and yeah, already probably toughest job of the 5 maps you'll be just sticking these triangles. Wonder if it's a quick one or someone that's going to take longer. But big match for
Yeah.
sure. I think Spot, just feel free to take this first spin if you want.
Yeah, thank you. You got SMG Bartender, Loud Explosive Weapon, Florida Man, Garden Fork, Rolf, Scrap Sword, no target KO as Technician, and Battle Axe as Dealer. Ooh.
First of all, it does sound quite odd. Scrap Sword, Battle Axe, Garden Fork, and then this guy is all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, whoever, not exactly the Berlin expert. So I'll have to defer to you here for fun.
Well,
how to think about a spin. Sorry.
you're the first person ever to be the first to me as the Berlin expert, because I am definitely not one. But I think we'll stumble through this map for sure. Florida being remote is a big help, but other than that, Rolf is downstairs, well, Technician is banner, so wherever, Dealer is downstairs, so maybe a lot of these is indeed towards the DJ start, which Afro's choosing.
Yeah, I think DJ is super nice because it's so like step by step. Like your 3 kills or 3 KOs are right there. Definitely makes Berlin. I definitely defaulted to it a lot versus like up where I feel like you have so many options, even though it is faster.
Yeah, deep down, you just want to hope for a spin you can start up and maybe don't even want to go down too much, like 3 up or 4 up. But I think you can do the bartender kill up here, and that's about it. Technician, if you want to lure banner up, which is, I think, the meme of this community lately, but it's perfectly fine to do that as well, just being seen rarely. Never had a quick replan, but I think she's gonna go for DJ, and I think it's perfectly fine and gonna be exciting to see the up versus the down. Nope, that's
Oh,
Club
she's
Crew, sorry.
yeah. I think she started DJ and switched. Which, I think is better, right? Like starting up, going down is usually faster.
Yeah, like to me, these timings are the 3 and 4 minute timings are what's engraved in your brain, and the opposite is much harder. Like you don't know second cycle swan at, I don't know, wherever. So if we're starting with the, I think it's gonna be the bartender kill and the scrap sword takeover, but not the fourth kill, just the first one.
Ooh, Swan does not bite on the lure though. Oh, there we go. Should be good.
It's a nice,
No,
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's a nice new approach, but not quite new. It's just been recently added to Rure or something like that, because you can just hide there near the canals, and I forgot to KO. Takes the SMG. Takes the first kill of this match. Was
No, Munk looks like was going up for green, I believe, and then triple shot banner up.
hopefully
Ooh.
this is gonna be tough. Maybe
Oh.
Monk misread, and then
Oh
it's gonna be
no,
illegal.
no, no.
I was worried
Oh.
when Monk made extra sure that the bartender kill would be live, but that can be KO, just not the scrap sword. So PGP the first and hopefully only message of this match, and number 4 kill was illegal. Click on the message, click on accepting it, and hopefully not a big disadvantage for Monk, but it's minute 45 aphro, 1 kill down, going for Lowenthal. Just not sure which kill yet. Oh, I guess it's gonna be number 2, right? The loud explosive, but soundproof, so it doesn't have to be an exit kill.
Yeah, look at that. Could also maybe scrap through a technician, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I got this kinda all over the place, but I think aphro didn't lure banner, so the technician is just too far away.
Mm-hmm.
The yes, this sword was locking on for a second. I think aphro was also screaming. I was also screaming almost.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's him down and the C4 secured, and this will always be soundproof. Obviously opens one door, and but not the second one. And lots of these melee items in Aphro's hand, and we'll take one more, I assume, going up one floor for the Garden Fork.
Juggling all those weapons definitely very annoying for the spin.
Um, yeah, and it's not like hobby knife or screwdriver, which would be a much smaller fetch quest. Only thing is missing is the old knife, old axe. Sorry, but it's not the case. So
Let's look at like what sort of adjustment Monk made. Didn't he triple shot Banner? I don't think so. Might be doing something similar to Aphro now.
so I was gonna say that he did, but judging by this, it doesn't make sense, and because it's still green guns, then I suppose you just skipped on that part. Technician. It's always going to be tough with live technician disguises because then you can't have Banner as the final kill. You can have him as the second to last kill and take his disguise and do someone else, but in a match it's just so much easier to mess this one up. But yeah, as Dane says, the spin has simplified a lot for aphro. 3 very important KOs here. And that will be Chamberlain secured. Oh wow. That's fine. And then these, well, it will be a 1 life kill for aphro, who is a restart for Munk. Was green found on the rooftop. I think I've seen a rip like that a couple of days ago, right? Someone looking up just a bit, see that body.
Wow, really? Like he did nothing, no distraction, no nothing. Just naturally, someone looks on the roof. Ah, it's unfortunate. So unfortunate then.
Yeah. Maybe there was something else, but there was no loud kills here as well. Oh, interesting spot for aphro. Gets the 2 KOs and hopefully 1 more subdue. KO is fine. Nice usage of that blue egg. You'll probably see aphro lowering Banner very shortly now.
I guess the question would be: is she okay with Florida Man now? Because like she can't medic him into the security room bathroom with all those bodies.
That's a very good point. But it's also interesting with the timings because Florida Man is at the security hub at 4 minutes. So at 5, I think he's kind of in no man's land. But if aphro takes her time and gets to Florida at 6 or maybe even 7, that's going to be even better for Enigmatic because he will be at the... that's the level 1... the other bar, the skylight bar. I'm not sure how it's called. The projection bar. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. I remember like some old strats with Florida Man, like a medic him immediately. He goes to like a bin. Like
Yeah. Like, I guess that means that it's like 6 or 7 minutes is his cycle with, of course, decent RNG, but now would be a good time for aphro to go there. And I think that's the reason why she's not triple shotting Banner yet. And it's gonna be dealer first. I think that's also fair. It's difficult because so many steps are yet to take, and maybe by the time she gets to Florida Man, he will be right back here at the security hub. And then your original question still stands: will he see the bodies, or how much dragging is needed? Small buffer, but looks my stream is fine still.
oh, this technician from Afro. Ah, that's really smart.
Yeah, that allows like so much better of
Oh,
flexibility.
no.
But Munk is getting found by the only NPC who could be ever close to one of the garden forks. It's so unfortunate because you have 2 options to get the fork. One is free and one is in the crate, and not only Munk went for the one in the crate. I think the bullet was heard and there was panic and got found. And I was gonna say that Munk is nicely catching up, just a minute and a half behind, but lots of progress made. But now it's all aphros to lose. As the dealer, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. No, I was just gonna be saying about the gun fork. Like, yeah, one's like cycles, the other one you have to shoot. Simply pick your poison there.
Yeah. I think it's a good decision by Monk because it's strictly speaking, it is just a couple of seconds faster to get the one from the box, but If only he had KO'd that biker. Three kills down. Aphro needs the banner triple shot. Change into a different disguise. Or plan B, because neither has to be an exit kill. Go for Florida Man. And wherever he may be at 8 minutes. It's actually a good question. I guess 8 minutes is when he's at the projection bar. I was gonna say much earlier.
Before that ponytail on Afro Scoop. Oh, it does look like she see him at the bar. He may be at the downstairs bar.
Yeah.
The third bar.
Need better names for it, and I think the game does have, but we just never use it. I think that's him. Which is fine, I think, as long as no other real NPCs getting hit. He should go into that very small closet, which is closed, but the key is nearby. And there's a closet in that small room, so fingers crossed for Aphro. I did not like the throne KO there,
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Yeah. Closer to KO.
But it's tough because I wouldn't have liked the Q there
Yeah,
from some
yeah.
angles. It's just such a small room.
Yeah. Maybe because he's puking, like his view count's looking down. Maybe that's the throws make the throw a little better.
It is probably. I think that part of the puking cycle is he's not only looking down but also back a little bit. So, but luckily it's just a what if, and Aphro's 4 kills down, the 5th one is needed. And now the banner triple shot, which we anticipated for I think 6 minutes now.
Oh, you know what? I just like Pop Monk made a really good adjustment, just using a trank there to avoid the Guardian Bullet impact. It's nice to see like players like using all their resources.
Oh yeah.
Some people do just hold on. Stuff a little too long.
If we disregard these annoying melees, it's quite a nice spin because you can bring anything for it really. Just looking at it, yeah, technically the SMG which you take from all the agents, and technically the loud explosive weapon which you take from 2 of the agents. So I think it can be whatever silence pistol shank like Munk did. Didn't fully see, but I think Aphro triple shot as the security and then changed into the technician, so no combat possibilities.
The chat saying DJ's panicked, but looking on Afro screen, it's look at the minimap, everything's fine.
Really important to just be in instinct a bit more, but seems safe. No more cameras, no more enforcers. Aphro takes the first map.
Yeah, super well played. Like so much going on in the spin, and just Ever just chugged right through it. Just a couple unfortunate reps. Definitely would like to see him at like the same spot. So many different decisions to make.
Yeah, there's like so much going on in this spin. It was never gonna be like 4 minute or 5 minute in game time. You could maybe argue that 6 or 7 is where the very, very top players start, but that is still, with that speed, you are prone to rips, which Munk did and Aphro didn't, and that's a very, very well deserved first 2 points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sapienza though, which I was gonna say will never take 11 minutes in game time, but I think Battle X will have a few words with us, and the Silvio unique kills could throw in a wrench. But will be much quicker, I think, and it is one of the best maps for Munk. He's unbeaten on 4 maps, Sapienza and Paris being the best. 3 wins, 0 losses, both of those places. So definitely a tactical pick on Monk's side.
Yeah, I do love all these stats we have now. Usually like PB, because it kind of like bounced out the record. I think Afro has a worse record, better PB could indicate like being better on the map, but also like could just indicate getting easier spins. So you never know.
And also it's basically, it kind of shows the progression of the times and the players across these ages.
Of course, yeah.
Because Monk's 3 wins were R7, R7, R14. He didn't play this map in R17 yet. And I think if I search for aphro in our stats, well, only her last 2 Sapienza wins. Actually, she's lost the first 4 and then won 2 since, so that's a win streak if you want. It's much more recent and much more quick and much more optimized, and 411 is actually very good.
Mhm.
So I think aphro will more than hold her own. I don't even know which... Like, what type of spin could favor which player? Despite the PB, I would say that the longer the spin, the more it will be like Berlin, and aphro could maybe keep her cool and stay up there with the first try.
I appreciate chat talking about bringing the SMG over the pistol, over the full auto.
Well, yeah, it's...
It's good chat about that.
Options are good to have. The Big Machete SMG gang, population 1. To be honest, it actually doesn't matter, but yeah, everyone just went with the FA. I think some people say it's easier to one shot with the FA, maybe, but I could be taking the other way around. I don't think it's really huge.
It has that like silver. Does it have like the silver baller, like super high headshot multiplier? I'm not sure.
Oh god, I am not the good person to ask this.
Yeah.
If it works for roulette kills, I use that firearm. If it doesn't, I use something else. Scruffy has the answer, maybe.
Yeah.
FA is a little better at shooting open doors from a distance. That one door into the observatory. Fair enough. I was never going to reinvent the wheel, I guess. Just following. I'm just a sheep here. We'll see if there will be any SMG replans in case if it's an SMG spin. It actually is. Silvio Caruso loud SMG as Dr. Oscar Lafayette. Francesca DeSantis folding knife as church staff.
Ooh, folding knife. That's grabs on that. Be very interesting to see.
Yeah. Tough to say, right? It is going to be on the table outside because that's not a combat knife, I'm pretty sure. I've seen the triple shots, I've seen the sedatives. The one I like mostly recently is, I think Timecube is in the chat. He bumps one of the guards who looks towards the 40 knife, and then you can take the knife while running away from the other guard. It's harder to explain than to actually perform, but that may be not the most important part, but actually Lord Munk doing therapy lore.
Oh, this is lovely to see. I don't think I've ever seen Therapy Alert in a match, but it is like pretty consistent. It's not like a daily spin strat. It's definitely very good with the right spin.
I think it's very difficult to say. Therapy lore, I've definitely seen a lot more, like 6 months ago, 1 year ago. There was like a little hype around it, and it feels like the map specialists, of course, learn it and know it, but other than that, it doesn't feel like it's being used a lot. I think it's very niche because you need to be. I think Silvio needs to be the Oscar disguise. Otherwise, you just go for him first. So we'll once again see different approaches compete. Munk has the therapy lore going, and we'll go for this folding knife because he triple shot these guards, which turn into doubles after a while. But luckily, they are running away, so that's the knife secured. And actually, most of the spins secured already.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Like, ooh, yeah. She's a climb in the window there. Be the right play. What I was gonna say is like I've never seen the triple shot turn into double shot like right there. I'm just curious how that happened.
Yeah, because Munk didn't change this. Munk changed disguises, and I don't think that would
Oh,
make any difference still, but if you just remember Banner from a previous map, he just stays triple and runs, so good question. And chat can't explain either, but I'll be waiting for the answers if someone has any. This is definitely Monk's strat, or at least that's the strat which will net much better in-game time, so just interested to see if the next 2 minutes goes well for him, starting with the Franny kill, and then moving towards Silvio's main bedroom, and then, of course, the butler arriving, Oscar arriving, Silvio arriving. Will be a big commotion as F is going much more simpler and straightforward. First the Franny ISO and then going for church stuff later.
where's Monk going? Oh, did he miss? Uh-oh.
Munk missed the therapy
Yeah.
lure.
Oh, no.
It looked so... Wait, what? Wait, but Munk didn't shoot the... So it is a therapy lure, but the panic took longer, because that's not my experience from the roulette resources and other player showcases. By this point... Okay, I just thought that by this point both the disguises would be up here and Silvio would be close by, but I guess he's just half a minute behind or so.
But Monk also might have been a little fast, I think, because usually, like, when you do therapy, it's like a more annoying disguise for Oscar, right? I mean, for Franny.
That's true. And he made the 230 ISO very safe, like with time to spare. And I guess, judging by Moo's comment, there was not fast therapy, just a different kind of therapy lure. Would have to definitely check how many bullet shots were used to panic before and after the seeker shots. Which I guess kind of explains why the bodyguards were weird. That's the only thing I can think of, is that Munk did the panic for Oscar and then did the triple shot for the bodyguards, but then the bodyguards reacted so weird, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't pay attention at the beginning. That's my bad. Let's see exactly what I just caught the end of the therapy layer.
I wouldn't be able to tell you as well. It's tough because it happens from a distance, right? And they can barely hear the seeker hit and whatever. I haven't seen therapy with a loud kill, though. I'm very curious to see how much time Monk has. But that was basically frame perfect.
Yeah, plenty of time.
And nicely done. Only down to the lab now, and it's not a loadout heavy spin, so definitely has the EMP remaining. Oh, I wasn't sure if he wanted to go somewhere else. Has the key card, so no need for that either. And it seems like Afro's straightforward strat won't be like miles behind, because that's the Franny kill, Silvio isolated, Oscar next to him. It will be just, I think, a drag to the soundproof spot, and Afro will be finishing in a minute, but it's not enough for a photo finish. Lord Monk with a 6 minute and maybe 1 second. Yes, a 601. And a 650 RTA will win his own map pick, and we go 2-2 after 2 maps.
Oh, therapy layer looking really good for this type of spin. Great. And very well played from Monk.
I'll be honest, I expected a bigger gap between the two strategies, but I think it's just really coming down to Munk using, if I understand correctly, too many bullets on Oscar, but I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what went down or anything like that. still a nice therapy pillar for sure.
Yeah, so what they're
Mumbai.
saying is like, oh, Mumbai, Dubai.
That's the other
Oh,
one.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Yeah. I,
I
I'm sure
obviously
Afro
meant,
did
yeah. I obviously meant that. And we won't go to Miami either, so you can you can call me out is the other map I'll say. But Dubai is not a map which Monk has a lot of experience on. He hasn't played a couple maps, because I see our stats he's played 17, but Dubai, 0 wins, 1 loss. Not gonna be as... Well, who knows really, but judging by these old strats or statistics, doesn't feel like he's gonna be as experienced as Afro, but who's to say really?
I definitely play as a pretty comfy map to learn though. Pretty fast. As long as you don't, there are a couple things, right, that are hard. But I think every map has a couple things that are like really annoying. A couple conditions, a couple disguise combinations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess Dubai doesn't have unique kills yet, but also I couldn't think of any that would be realistic to add. What is really new in Dubai? I don't know if you were still active when the... Oh my god, the Assassin's chat was refined. I think Boychuk was the first one who did that in a match, and then it was cleaned up a lot, and now there are a lot of ways to do it easily. I think that's the main thing. Other than that, it's just trying to be more comfortable with the suit or skydiving suit.
Yeah, I believe some of that was taken away this tournament. I believe was it like Marcus live skydiving was banned this tournament.
Yeah, and we can thank that to Aphro actually, because it was her suggestion in one of the surveys. So, you know, it all comes around, and maybe it would have come up here. But I think she said that, and very correctly said that skydiving drowning is banned. So if we expect skydiving loud live to be just like that, and it's usually done in the bathroom anyway, that would be fair is to just ban it as well.
I'm actually asking chat if Afro has to win 6-2.
So the final confirmation of who needs what. The winner of this match will advance, no matter the scoreline. If this match is a 5-5, then Hausen is the final player to advance. We have 15 players already in the knockout stage. Luke.png was the previous one to advance, thanks to, I think, the Boychuk Zai match ending in a certain way. And now just one spot remaining, and it's these two players with fate in their own hands.
Ooh. Definitely high stakes for both players here.
Hey, it's gonna be match point for one of them after this, or a photo finish tie. Equally exciting. What's Dubai's pin spot?
Got Carl Ingram, injected poison suit. Marcus Stuyvesant, sniper rifle, event staff. Oh, fast. But
Yeah,
of course, fast replanning.
yeah. Who knows the fastest way to swap the loadout? Ideally, yes, swap the ghost as well. The most baseline suit strategy brings the FA, and you can just throw the briefcase over the railing. But I think with the sniper, you wanna just go through the elevator. So I'm interested to see Monk's approach here. This could be tight. And it wasn't. He's just way too quick because... I mean, the briefcase is still up there, but if Monk leaves before 3 minutes, I think the briefcase won't be delivered, and any bodies won't be found.
It's definitely looking like totally fine for the spin.
Okay, that was goofy from Afro, but he glitched through some object, but she's up the vine. She didn't bring the sniper rifle with hers, so that's probably in an agency pickup somewhere. I can't really pick up on the map. No, but it's there upstairs. So now it's all in Monk's hands, and Chris is way more pessimistic than I am. That briefcase which Monk has dropped is definitely being picked up and picked to this security hub. Sooner rather than later we'll be starting that question mark appear in Instinct, but I don't actually know where that security guard is.
Self-entitled and arrogant little. He might not look like much, but he's done more.
For what's the double seeker, which I'm curious about on this spin.
And that's not a sniper.
Oh.
Aphro didn't pick the right item, shuffled back and forth, and ended up with different. Oh, that's gonna be devastating. It is a Monk lead for now, but if it ends up in a replan for Monk as well, it could be tough. He left the gun there on purpose, I think, but the spin is just way too quick for anybody to mess with the briefcase and with these bodies. Monk with minute 49 and has a Dubai bug, but exited with green gun, so that will be fine. Small consolation for Aphro, I guess, is that her emetic ways just weren't as quick in the first place, so hopefully she's not too hard on herself missing the sniper and can just go to Ambrose Island. Not Paris, Monk. We are not going to Paris. As far as I know. So does this mean map 5 is Paris?
Maybe. Oh, wait, I think I have it up. Map 5 is Paris, yes.
Okay. To be fair, Yanni just did the biggest flex on me when I think map 4 was Bangkok, and he said in chat that, oh, he was practicing Whittleton Creek, not Bangkok, and then he still kicked my ass on map 4, so doesn't really mean much, you know.
Gosh, that was crazy watching like Workshop beat Bugman.
The Victorian mind cannot comprehend, right?
Yeah. That was like...
Yeah, crazy strats are developing on all maps except Ambrose Island for some reason, although I think there is some button strat which Moo would be able to talk about, but I think he would be the only person to talk about that. Maybe Jotes would be the other. You will see Central Social Hub, unless it's a consume poison kill for Noel, or maybe some sort of hippie combos. It's a very straightforward map.
Yeah, do agree with Moo there. There's just... It's just not... The map is just... I don't think... Like, all disguises too close together. Nowhere really good to isolate. It's just... I think Double Seeker definitely just too strong.
Yeah, it's super straightforward. I haven't seen it from this angle, but you can... That's the actual strength of it. You can do it from multiple angles. After that, you can... Like, you can do it from here, where Monk was just a second ago. Although... now he's... Yeah. Anyway, you can do it in a lot of different ways. You can pick up the agency pick up here, and the bomb delivery, which is, you know, such a crucial spot of this spin. I think players have kind of perfected the way to do it. Blunt has a comparison video, and there may be some stretch where the delivery could be a couple seconds quicker, but I don't know if we will ever see that in matches.
That's Crest.
Ooh.
This is Monk's first ever Ambrose. It is, I guess, slightly unrelated, but he's actually just cleared the biggest hurdle, because I think so many players for so long brought the bowler, the ICA type, and you can see the huge difference between that and the Krugermeyer. The guards will not be hearing the same pistol shot, which I think ripped so many players along the years.
Yeah, there's energy. I did not notice it was Monk's first Ambrose. I forget which RR was the first with Ambrose? Was it 10?
I think 9.
9, okay.
So 2022 was the year, and it's the summer of that, so it's either 8 or 9, somewhere along those. just a quick answer to Boychuk. This match will be followed by the knockout stage draw, because as far as we understand, it will be the full situation for the top 16 players. And yeah, that will be happening quite immediately. I will go to an idler, I will just double check things for a couple of minutes, but after that the wheel is set up and you can go and find out the final 2 weeks of this tournament.
Oh, be exciting. Ooh. So scary. So many scary players. Uh-oh.
It's gonna be a lot of I'm not gonna say all matches will be close, but I think the vast majority of them, like from 52 entrants or 50 who actually play the match, down to the top 16 is a huge cut. Like, you don't get there by fluking or by being just okay or slow, whatever. Like, these players can definitely all win the tournament.
I think it's a little copium for me, but I think like top 4, I think those players are just a little cut above everyone else. I think like below like 4 to 16, like I think those can all be close, but I think like 1 to 4 is 13 to 16. Like Moo, Quat, Crescent. Who's Crescent third? Right.
Crescent is number 4, yeah.
Yeah. Those players. Gorori too, right? Yeah, they're all like, I think just like like they will first try every spin. And you can't even be slow.
Yeah, and it's only a half a point drop between 4th and 5th, but I think it's a very nice way of putting it, because Quat has went 6 for 6, Moo has went 5 for 5, he skipped around. Gregory has only lost 1 match and that was to Quatty, and Crescent has only lost 1 match and that was to Gregory. So they're kind of like mixing and matching against each other, but they have beaten everyone else. So curious to see if single elimination, so anything can happen, but gonna be tough to see. So there was actually a small delay of a couple of minutes, but we are back. And we are going with map number 4, Monk's match point here in Ambrose Island. Noah Crest's falling object is Metalworker, and Aka, NTKO SMG in the suit.
Make sure to say in the chat, it would be great for Afro Strat, but of course the SMG in suit is like, I guess any any falling object would make it hard to grab Noel's SMG.
Yeah. This is one of the few spins, yeah, where I just can't think of anything else but smuggle your SMG. I'm not well versed with the phone, and actually you are the person who's, along with Chris, using it the most. Would you care for some quick phone chain here for a quick no kill?
We start from Munk. I think for this, I'm not sure about like the timings on disguises, but it's fine for like a throw distraction, right? Like it is on roulette resources that you get with just throw distractions here. Though the phone, of course, makes it, I think, a little more forgiving.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to imagine it because I haven't seen the video in a long time, but 2 or 3 steps and Noel being a guard and not so VIP prone makes it easier to chain stuff on him. So probably, especially with this loadout, you could even consider just not being a phone and just, yeah, chain it to it. But Noel first seems correct. I would probably have done it second, but the timings are definitely odd.
Yeah, I believe Afro did set up like her remote Nolan.
It's tricky because I've seen one briefcase set up, but she's already with the second briefcase. But I do think that the briefcase was set up there. Yeah. Oh, chat has very interesting consideration here, and that will be a very early falling object there for Monk. I'm not seeing the lamp. Oh, but he shoots it so that he stops and kills Noel, but he's compromised by some civilian, I think, across the road. It's difficult to see, but oh my god, this would be such a nice early kill by Monk, but Had to just restart.
Yeah, no effort. Gets a Seeker on Akka. Most life stuff should be fine. She can scream, of course, is a consideration.
The fact that it's SMG and live, and I think I'm just quoting Wu here, it's the toughest combination here. Maybe, of course, AR or something like that, but it's not gonna be a one shot. And even if you Q her, one of the bullets will stray past, and she didn't take care of that other guard, and he will see that subdue. That's a huge restart for aphro, so unfortunate. She was so laser focused on getting this ISO down. Actually, so is Munk. It's gonna be two very important shots again. First one fine, second as well, and no red gun still.
Munk should be good. I know it's like you can get randomly compromised. There's so many like random guards around here. But with that, that is the hardest kill out of the way.
Yeah, and he definitely made the harder kill look easy, but now I guess the easier but trickier, because I am still a bit worried about some Akka panic or even just a bullet distraction from downstairs. I don't think that works. Or so when I was just randomly practicing, you had to throw the explosive. I'm not sure. Am I just completely wrong here? But I don't think that's gonna work.
Oh really? Just dropping it, like the guards won't pick it up.
Yeah, maybe I did it with C4 and they didn't pick it up, but placing an item just didn't always work for me. Well, I guess I'm just leading some excitement into the second half of the spin. Nice hit on Akka. Okay, no more detonator, so actually much better. Oh boy. Have you seen this angle? Especially with SMG, this could be tough. I was a target lockdown.
Target lockdown, gunshot heard.
I mean, even if it's just one frame, the target lockdown will be investigated if I feel like at least. And no detonator for a long, long time.
Yeah. Scary, scary.
Oh, Munk!
What? No! Oh!
I think that was still according to the plan. And it was even being delivered, which I didn't expect, but Munk thought that the bomb would be there by now.
Oh, yeah, so really the metalworker grab is delaying those pirates. Yeah, so I guess...
True. Yeah, I mean, of course, Munk was remembering this 2:45 timing, or could even say like 2:37, and just definitely that time, and I guess he was just confused by that.
Or maybe his plan was to get out, like he was counting on getting out before Akka's body was found.
Probably. I would have still wanted to see it go red before restarting, but it's gonna be very interesting now. After with the... we missed a lot of this strat, but now she's not focusing on Akka. Waiting for the 3:15 timing. The screen is way too small for me to say when Noel stops, but it's 3:15 or so, and Munk has to restart again. He's 1 for 3 with this strategy. I cannot tell you.
Oh, yeah, there's like 3 pixels. Went over it. Looks good.
There we go. And the momentum swings so much, but still it's gonna be a very tough Akka kill. I don't know if she plays the gun. She didn't place the gun for the pirate.
Oh.
I don't know how it's gonna work out from here.
A trank? Ooh, a briefcase throw.
Briefcase throw, that's smart. But timing is running out. I think Akka is only sick for like 10 or 15 more seconds. Not getting the cue.
Lockdown.
Who's reacting? I think it's gonna be a question mark from down below.
Yeah.
But aphro needs to anticipate this one.
Oh.
Searching, but that's no.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Is that gonna... Oh.
And I don't think aphro has a, you know, a pistol with one shot. She only has the SMG. Oh no, but she's still fine. She's still fine. Has to crouch and get out. No, now he's just passing. That was, oh my god, so close.
Oh.
I prefer not to talk about this so much, but you can just feel these players panicking so much for this very important match. And oh my god, these situations, I'm so sorry for them. That not only that they found themselves in, but they almost moved out, but just made the wrong decision in the end.
I don't move. It's partially up. It's also, I think, live SN.
Yeah.
So definitely like such a sneaky hard kill.
It's honestly the worst combination because, you know, with shotgun, sniper, anything, even the loud pistols, you just plan accordingly, but SMG sounds so innocent. Oof. After all this, they are 25 seconds apart in-game time-wise. I think Monk's strat is quicker, but I'm really not gonna say that this is mandatorily gonna work next try. Ooh, he's not sure about this angle. But gets the throw, and I mean, I think this also feels late-ish. I don't think that will be a 245 exit. I think a 315 or something around that would be more realistic. Just Munk needs to remember and not exit too early.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Monk, like, if he knows like about like the remote, like coming back, or like if his restart was because he was planning on exiting earlier, or like he was just expecting to see his detonator back in his inventory.
It's really tough to say. Oh, that's an unfortunate uncrouch. Oh, luckily no reaction there. I think a peekaboo could have ruined a lot of things there for Monk. Monk is going for this crazy angle again, which I don't know. I trust his aim, but it's just so easy to get a target lockdown here. Lockdown again. I think what saves Munk here is that he's going for the bullet distraction on the same guards who check out the target lockdown. I think that will save him and Akka won't be found. But now it's down to detonator.
Yeah, that's actually really smart from Monk there. I think that is preventing.
Oh, aphro gets hunted, changing disguises.
Oh.
This might be over anyway, but it is still a devastating rip for aphro. Monk is waiting a long time, and actually 315 is what he's going with. And
with that button press, Monk is through to the KO stage. Very well played.
He's well earned it with this Ambrose, and so unfortunate for aphro getting so close to that. I think top 16 was her dream or goal or plan for a long time. She will have to wait another tourney for that, but I think with this performance it won't be long until she makes it there.
You're so close on that Ambrose and that Sapienza. Just like Monk very well played there.
Yeah, all in all, Munk had the better strat in Sapien Dubai, so I think those 4 points are fair. aphro had a much better gameplay in Berlin. No restarts against many on Monk's side, so that was also deserved. And this Ambrose could have gone either way. It was, I think, one of the craziest Ambroses in a long time. Yeah, I can actually show, I think, the brackets, right? Which it's called brackets, but it's the Swiss stage standings. Yeah, we won't see. I So if Joker and Curry would somehow get the forfeit and Mike could confirm that they won't get one more point, I think we would finally see the top 16 official on Hitmaps as well, because there's top 16. Munk will take 15th position. Luke will be 16th, and Hausen's losing out on differential. With aphro, well, it's gonna be 28th, but I think it's just awkward because of the point system. She was one of the closest to the top 16, but of course, some people just got more points.
Yeah, and I just like to give a shout out to Hausen. Like I feel like past couple games, like he played so well. I think it's really unfortunate rolling gray, or as you're like, I need to win points. I think yeah, I think right, like even one map or two maps off Gray could have pushed his diff up enough. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't want to say it wrong, but I think Hausen would have needed 2 maps to overtake Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Or, of course, a couple more maps somewhere else. He swept purple, he narrowly beat Giannini, got swept by Quatility 6-2 against Luke. But you could say that to any person. 6 rounds is a whole lot of a Hitman. And in the end, it was just so close for Hausen, but will not make it to the knockout stage. Move already with I think, the football comparisons. He will be the person with the highest differential. Obviously, somewhat cheating because he did opt out from one round, and that will not affect his differential. But of the players who played all 6 rounds, it's actually interesting to see Gregory and Crescent with 4.3, Quati, who has won all his 6 matches, only 4.0. Okay, I'm not going to talk about other players too long, but Crescent has swept 5 of his opponents. Dinosaur Alf, some random person, Zion, and Zuko-chan. So that's that's why he has such a high differential with the only one loss. But yeah, sorry, I'm rambling. I'll show the upcoming. These will be 3 matches, quote unquote, for fun only. Won't affect knockout stage performance, but it's 6 rounds, and we are exciting to see all these players for all 6 rounds. So check out Skyler versus Script in 2 hours, and Falcon Purple and Apricot Daisy around this time tomorrow. But yeah, we are soon going to start about the other matter at hand, the knockout stage draw. Do you have any comments or thoughts or wishes about either the match or the draw spot?
Yeah, that was a great match. Of course, yeah. Yeah, like So Tough Rapper just barely missing out on KO stage. Actually looking good. Definitely looking good for a good RWC run. And I think Lord Monk, like, definitely proving, I think, with his gameplay that he deserves to be in the knockouts. Like, I think some people think definitely like it's gonna be a little iffy because he didn't get to play too much in the Swiss, but I think like his gameplay definitely looks like top 16, looking really good.
Yeah, I think we will see where Monk will get and which opponents he will get and what chances he will have. Along with the other 16 players, very excited to see that. And also, yeah, once again, unfortunate for Aphro, I hope, and I know that her time will come, especially in the top 16 and beyond. Yeah, I think with that, I will not end the stream. This is very important. I will go to an idler for a couple of minutes to just confirm everything once more, to set up for the draw. And then let's see how this final 2 weeks and final 2 weeks of R17 will shape out. With that, I would like to say, yeah, thank you, Spot the Cat, for joining me on this cast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, great pleasure. Hope to do it again soon. Thanks to Pijero for adminning this one. Very nicely done. No photo finishes, thank God. Yeah, and with that, thank you all for watching. And I will go to the idler and see you soon. Hello, hello, testing, testing. I hope this very quickly set up scenes will work out for these next 10 to 15 minutes. How do I make this not confusing? But this will be the the plays that you will see for most of the time. We have the top 16 set after all this. Yeah, obviously we had a very intense Swiss stage which did not end yet. We have one more day, and as I said, just gonna, this is the part I'm good at, just showing different spreadsheets. We have 3 more matches to go, and do check out those tomorrow. And as Pac said also in comments just a couple of minutes ago, they do not matter for advancement, but they matter for RWC seeding, and of course these players will, I think, put on a very nice show, because these are very entertaining players, all of them. But what I can confirm is that none of these matches will change the order of the top 16, and this is actually the part which I was confirming for the last couple of minutes. Thanks to the fact that the first tiebreaker, along with the wins, is differential, which is, of course, for these players, it's set already. There are no more matches to play, the differential won't change. And as you can see, Quatility is the only 6-point player, Mu is the 5-point player with the best differential. Gregory and Crescent have the same differential, but Gregory has played the tougher opponents. We know that because all of these players have played already, and you can check that for yourselves. Dane, Dave, Channel Joint, Crescent, Quatility, and Hausen. They are all through their tournaments. Same for Crescent. This won't change. These positions will not change. These values will not change. The only one difference is Nezuko has one more opponent to play. Nezuko's opponents have one more match to play. Apricot can improve Nezuko's Buchholz if he wins tomorrow, but only to 3.8. So these positions won't change either, and we can go that all the way down to the bottom. These are all set, and as we said a couple of minutes ago, there were 3.5-point players with differential making the big difference. This time, of course, not Buchholz. And with the differential, it ended up being Hausen, who had the lowest differential across the 3 rounds. Of course, you can count it that he has ended up winning the same amount of maps than losing it. Of course, just quite unfortunate for him. But someone has to play and has to finish 17th. Was still a very nice journey by him. So that Yanni has been scamming some Buchholz. And actually, that's quite interesting, and you can see a lot of you will see a lot of comparisons, like Yanni with a lower Buchholz than anyone else around him. Boychuk also with pretty low, but as we said, this time differential is what matters, and that actually confirms this final 16 is what I want to say. This 16 is, you will see here as well. Quatility as the Swiss stage winner, followed by Mu, Gregory, and Crescent, the 5-point players in the top seed. Janini, Spodeket, Alf, and Scruffy as the second group of players, and then you can see Ducker, Boychuk, Dane, and Nezuko in the third batch. And the final one is PG, myself, Lord Munk, and Loot.png. In case you're not familiar or you're not completely sure, here's a very quick recap of what we are going to see. We will go through one group of players, and we will put that into this wheel. And the first name that will come out will be put in their first corresponding spot. This is very similar to... yes, PG, this means partially cloudy. And luckily, no more information there about the Hungarian language. So we go from group to group, and the first name that will be drawn will go to their first corresponding spot. This orange group will be drawn first because that's how I decided. No particular reason, but I wanted it this way. I think all the other time we go from top to bottom, but we'll be go from bottom to top. And this will be a semi-seeded draw. The reason, or this is called that because these are the seeds, and it is random among the seeds, but the seeds placement is set. So a top 4 player will definitely play someone who has barely made it to the knockout stage. If it's better, if it's worse, that's for somewhere else to decide, but this is what we this is what we will drawing. So without further ado, these are the first 4 players. And these will be pasted to these first 4 spots. It is 22 degrees currently, but it's also 10 p.m. So you win some, you lose some. Without further ado, these are the 4 names, and the first name to get spun here will go to this second spot. And also the first spot of the orange group. So let's see who goes there. Where will the wheel stop, of course, is a great question, but Lord Munk, the last player to advance to the 16, will be the first player to be drawn. Let's go. Hey! Some celebrations as well. Lord Munk will go to the first spot. Of course, Munk, we know a lot about his path to top 16. We mentioned it as well, with very interesting 2 forfeit wins, 1 forfeit loss. You could say that it's not as earned as other players, but if you ask me, the Bedazzle win and the Alex Hiller win was also guaranteed, so he would be on 3.5 no matter what, and he would be against aphro in round 6, and would end up apparently taking this match. So the number 15 seed is the first one in the knockout stage. And the second one that has been set is in for fun. And I think that is me. So at least I don't have to talk about myself very first. Will of course cut it quite short. My path started the fly through sweep and a house and draw. If that map, oh my god, if that map goes any other way, of course, we would have had very different group stages. Hausen would be on 3 and maybe a different opponent, or myself 3 and out of the tournament. After that I played PG and Luke. And then I lost to Spot the Cat and Yanini, who are currently 5 and 6, so look out for them in the higher seeds. Not very long to go. Luke is the 3rd player to be drawn, the number 13 seed. No, Luke is the 16th, sorry. And that will be corrected to me, luckily. Luke also had a very interesting, and I think the most stressful round 6 of them all. Luke was the one player with the bye in round 1, so had to debut against Yanini, which ended with a 5-5, and a very interesting Haven in the end. And then very opposite, very, I don't know, bipolar matches. 6 against TK, but 0-6 against myself. Also quite convincing win by Hausen, a loss for Luke, which kind of made his situation bad, but in the end, fate was kind of in his own hands, played Mika, and then he was 4-0 up when Mika had to forfeit. So even though this was a forfeit win, this was a sort of kind of earned all 6 points, and I think Luke would have won that 3rd map as well. So barely snuck by, and Luke is in the knockout stage. I won't do the funny, because I want to spend the time talking about the players instead. So Pijero, I'll spin, but also talk about him as well. He has started with 2 wins against Kenny and Lord Munk. That same Munk who barely played in the first half of the Swiss stage. Lost to myself, lost to Alf. Alf has also made it to top 16, so no shame in that loss. But then came back with 2 very important wins. And yes, that is big applause for PG4, coming back from behind and taking the win against Channel Reindeer, and more importantly, the Dutch Derby, Froth 7 in round 6. And Froth is out, but PG is in his first knockout stage since RWC. So that's the first group down. Unsurprisingly, the wheel is empty. And we can go to the second group with Docker, Kamboychuk, Deinomos, and Nezuko-chan. And we will see, we won't see any pairs just yet, but we will see some of the brackets being shaped up. Picks and bans are back to square one. Map pool resets and with all that. Ducker is the first name to be pulled into the first slot of the yellow group, the 9 to 12 group. Ducker is the 9th seed of the Swiss stage. He has lost to Spot the Cat in the first round, which seemed Well, back then it kind of seemed like an upset or a surprising result, especially on Spot's first tournament back. But Ducker quickly got back up to speed with a fly for you sweep, a Mika 6-4 decider win, a some random person sweep, and then by then he was also close to advancing, so even a Dane almost lost couldn't hinder his chances a lot. A TK47 convincing win put him through with a 9 seed. 3 names to go, and of course Munk and Ducker will be close to each other, but that's not confirmed matchup. Only if they both would win their first round matches as an underdog. Second to be drawn is Dainomos. I'm pretty sure when it stops I can say that. For me it's interesting because we were drawn in the same quarter last time around and he defeated me in the quarterfinals, but of course these would be 2 upsets to happen if we were to meet again. Dane is the 11th seed, losing to Gregory in the first round, and actually having quite unlucky draws in the first half of the tournament. 0-6 against Gregory, playing Big Machete, I think one of the toughest players with 0 points after first round, so the first round losers, which I guess it's a mean thing to say. I don't mean losers or winners in a bad way. But came back against Boychuk. I think that was a very scrappy match if I'm being honest, but now I think it kind of makes sense because it's the 10 and the 11 seed playing each other. And of course, who else than Scruffy in round 4? And Dane could have been in big trouble, but actually won that match, putting Scruffy in big trouble. And after that, Dane has won his 4th match against Tucker, made him advance by then. So it was kind of a rubber match and an entertaining back and forth, which he eventually lost to Mu, who will be the 2nd seed. So actually, Dane has not lost any easy matches. He has lost to the 2nd seed and the 3rd seed. So I think look out for that. He could be very dangerous in the knockouts. So the quote-unquote Luke quarter and the quote-unquote PG quarter will get one more addition, and it will be Luke.png, not playing against Nezuko, but being close to Nezuko. That will be the 12th seed in this group. I think Nezuko's Swiss stage was a bit more quiet than usual. I don't remember a lot from him, but clean plays against Glebalk and Apricot to put him 2-0 up, or 2 points up. Lost to Potility was also, of course, no shame because he also ended up being the undefeated champion of the Swiss stage. After that, sorry, I'm just looking to chat. Please ping me if something happens or I have to change something. After that, he came back strong and defeated Froth. 6-4 against Alf was what made him qualify. So in the end, the loss to Crescent was actually no big problem. I think even with a win, it's difficult to say, but I think even with a win, he would be like 5th. So not a huge difference in his seeding there. And of course, it means Boychuk, the 10th seed. And I would love to have a better overview, but this has been a great tournament for returning players. We will see Spot the Cat later on. We have already drawn Lord Monk and now Kamboychuk. I think these 3 are special players in that they came back after not just one tournament, but multiple, and maybe after a year or more, especially in Spot's case. And they are up to speed with the competition. They have faced against the toughest opponents and won their 4 matches or scored at least 3.5 points. So it will be very interesting to see how they fare against, well, currently it will be a 5 to 8 seed for Boychuk, who very quickly I'll just say that defeated Curry, lost to Random, lost to Dane. Wasn't that spectacular in the first half, but it's a very impressive comeback journey. Sweep against Omni, win against Observer, and a win against Zai. It might be that he has the lowest BH against the 16th advanced, but 2.6 means that he didn't play against slouches. That was some tough matchups, especially against Dane, whom he almost beat. So we are halfway down, right? It's not that difficult to count. But now for the more exciting half, because the next 4 players that will be placed in, the 5 through the 8 seeds, will be facing opponents that are already in the brackets. So as we go from top to bottom, the first name that will be drawn will be facing Ducker, and there are already some some predictions. Scruffy wanting to be in the 4th quarter, I think mainly because of Pijero. If I were in chat, I would definitely try to make a an order between these 4 quarters because I have my opinions, but I'll leave that up to you to order. But without further ado, let's get the first matchup. It's gonna be close, and it is gonna be Giannini in the first quarter. And Giannini playing against Ducker. Well, not the battle of the two oldest competitors in terms of matches played, because Froth is number 2, but he didn't advance, and I think I may be number 3. But 2 of the very, very old timers in the same matchup. Giannini will play Ducker, who has ended his Swiss stage with a very strong 4.5 points and the 5th seed. I think he was 1 result away from the top seed. And it is an old man derby and a huge R2 rematch. It's amazing comments, PG and Chris, and also very accurate. Giannini's path only included 1 loss here. Quick and easy win against Giggs. The entertaining draw against Luke, which we already talked about. He lost to Hausen in the final map, which, you know, after the first half, you couldn't have been really sure if this would be Yanni's tournament yet. He could, of course, still advance with 3.5 or even more points. But then he has definitely fired his rockets, swept Currymaker, only lost Miami to aphro. I think you just have to have that map to her. Or you do need to give a lot of props to her on that map. Other than that, Gianni was very strong and also defeated myself 6-2. So he's on 3 wins in a row, looking to make it 4 against Giannini, and we will have our first quarter that is almost full, and very interested to see which of these 4 players will be facing them. The second player in this quarter, and Dane Nomos' opponent, is gonna be Elf. Elf is the 7th seed, and with that he's the player with 4 points but the highest differential. And you can see that all 4 of his wins were 6-0 sweeps. 1 of his losses was a decider loss, and only the Crescent loss was quite decisive, and that was his only sweep so far on the wrong end this tournament. Smokelweiss, Glebak, Pijero, and Channel Joined were the 4 sweeps. PG, of course, made it to the final 16. Channel Joined wasn't too far away, which, of course, combined with the 2 opponents that he lost to, made up for a quite a decent Buchholz. So no matter the tiebreaker, Alf would be in a very strong position against many players. But yeah, that confirms Elf versus Deinomos in round 1 as well. We are looking for Nezuko Chan's opponent here, and also Boychuk's next opponent at the same time. And we have Spot the Cat and Scruffy remaining. And we will have Spot the Cat in the, well, if you want to say the 3 spot in the 3rd quarter. This one I'm very interested about. We'll have to see what kind of opponents Spot the Cat has played. The 6th seed is one of the most pleasant surprises of this tournament, and if you want to say the dark horse of this tournament so far, 4.5 points, 1 draw and 1 loss, and I'm writing the recap, and I think round after round you can feel like, yeah, this is a nice result by Spot, but how much further can he go up the rankings? Will he face a loss that is just going to set him back and maybe fight for the tournament life? But no, step by step it was more and more promising. A Ducker 6-4, and then not losing a single map to Zai. 5-5 draw against Joker, especially with that very clutch Trank shot at the end of Marrakesh. Joker had to miss a Trank, but Spot got that one to steal that final map from him. Observer 6-2, Inforfan 6-2, and then a Quad 2-6, which was just a couple of hours ago, and that confirmed that Quad was the winner of Swiss stage. Didn't matter all too much. Spot has been playing wonderfully and could go very far in this tournament, but Nezuko is also a player with a very, very high peak. And that, of course, confirms that Scruffy will be going into the final quarter, which he actually hoped for a couple minutes ago in chat at least. So that will be Scruffy versus Kamboychuk in the 1st round, and Pijero versus, we will see who in the 2nd round. Will it stop already, and will we get our applause? That's the applause for Scruffy. who, of course, will remain the star of Roulette Rivals for a couple of tournaments, at least, guaranteed. So everyone is very interested in how his tournaments are going. I think he would agree that it was not going particularly well in the first half. 7-1 against TK47 with a map draw, no less, but luckily he got the 6 points out of that for the diff. But got arguably toughest draw of them all, Quotility in round 2, which he very narrowly lost. I would have to see which maps they were, but that was a tough loss, ending Scruffy's win streak there. Nice comeback by Peter Dutton. Nice comeback against Peter Dutton, sorry. Though he lost Bangkok there to the Bangkok specialist. You know, I think that can usually just happen. There's no worries about that. But the result of that, the reward of that was a 2-6 against Dynamos, probably the toughest of the round 4 draws, and that's including all the players, especially even on 3 or 4 points. It can happen. Anyone can lose to Dane sometimes, and it was Scruffy's turn to, especially after the RR12 and RR16 grand final wins, that Dane was eventually had to come back and take revenge. But even Scruffy in a do or die situation, he won his last 2 matches very convincingly, 6-2 against Skylar, though I think I remember that these were very, very solid first tries by Skylar, so Scruffy had to be on top of his game, and a 6-0 sweep against Kenny this week sealed his spot as number 8 in the end. I'm sure this was already exciting, but now comes the real part, I think, because for the knockout stage, it is always described as someone's quarter. So we will see which quarter is Gregory's, which quarter is Crescent's, which quarter is Moose, and which quarter is the Swiss stage winner, the undefeated, the 6-for-6 Quotility's quarter. The first player to be drawn will face Lord Munk, and will play the winner of Janini versus Tucker in round 2. It is gonna be narrowly, but Quotility, who I think fittingly will go to the number 1 spot as the number 1 seed, just like the RR16 draw, which had no draws, it was completely set. The first player in the first spot, that is kind of fair and all. And Quati will play the 15th seed of Lord Monk there. I was actually confused for a second because I thought I would be the 15th seed, but I was the 15th seed last time around. I improved. I'm now 14th. About Quotility's tournament so far. It's 6-for-6. It's gonna be very difficult to say anything bad about him. You can already see that the first opponent was also not so easy because aphro herself got to 2.5 points and almost made it to the knockout stage, but that was a sweep as well. Then the Scruffy match, which I think ended up just having or giving Quati so much motivation, that narrow win against Scruffy. I saw in chat that was a 5-5 almost, because I suppose that it was a very close 4-0 finish in the end. I don't remember. But yeah, 2-4 for Quati. And I'm sure feeling on the top of the world, can be beating anyone. And he indeed beat everyone. Zuko-chan in round 3, a Hausen sweep in round 4. Narrow Gregory win in round 5, though very good RTAs. I don't remember a lot of rips from that match, maybe apart from that scale decider. And just today, the spot to get win, 6-2. I think both players won their own map picks, so it's a close match, but Quati just way too clean, and I think he will be way too clean against anyone. Definitely one of the tournament favorites, but I think all 4 of them are at this point, along with maybe Scruffy and a couple others. So now, my opponent in round 1 is one of these 3 players. And more specifically, it's Crescent 7. Crescent is the fast and unpredictable player who I think has shed the unpredictable and inconsistent part, and now he's just fast and and furious, and very difficult to see him rip anywhere. As you can see, some very interesting win rates, very consistent win rates here. 6-0 against the Dinosaur, 6-0 against Alf, 6-0 against Random, easing into the tournament but not dropping a single map. Him and Gregory were the two players with 0 maps dropped. And then that was the Gregory match afterwards, which someone had to end their streak, so it was Gregory winning that match, Crescent losing 3 maps, winning 1. But I don't think his qualification was ever in any doubt. Zai 6-0 and Izuku 6-0. That is gonna be deadly for the whole quarter and maybe the whole half of this tournament. Will be very interesting to see. I'm actually gonna just, because I'm really curious about this one. Crescent's best result is quarterfinals from R16. Improving tourney after tourney, there's nothing to say that he couldn't make it another step further, sorry, into the semis and even further. So, one final decision to make here. Luke's opponent and Pidgey's opponent. One will be drawn and be put here against Luke, and the remaining name will be Pidgey's opponent in round 1. Luke.png will face the 3rd seeded Gregory in round 1. And of course, this will also mean what this name represents, but everything in their own time. Gregory has also been very tough and I think the most knowledgeable of the top players currently, and that's saying much because Mu has the entire roulette resources in his brain, but Gregory always has the right strats and approaches and doesn't seem to lose any maps because Dane 6-0, Magic Dave 6-0, Channel Join 6-0, Crescent 6-2, that's a insanely strong and probably one of the strongest tournament runs in any Swiss stages, in either of the Swiss stages so far. Went 4-4, played the other player on 4 out of 4. Someone had to lose. It was Gregory who lost to Quatility, but through the narrowest of margins. But of course, by then, Gregory was already through to the knockout stage, and as a bonus, he faced Hausen and swept 6-0. It is not a single player's fault, but I will have to say that if this result was a bit more flattering for Hausen, that he would probably be in the knockout stage. But you cannot say Gregory eliminated him or he was mean or anything like that. But you can kind of say that unofficially. Of course, it's not down to Gregory. And of course, this means that Mu will be the final name to be placed. And actually quite fitting. I think this is what you like to see, the number 1 and the number 2 seeds in different halves. This draw kind of left the possibility that the 1 and the 2 would be in the same half in adjacent quarters. Who knows how others would feel about that one, but luckily it didn't happen. It will be 1 versus 4 and 3 versus 2. Luckily, I think it's just the fairest result, and as you can see, Mu is the final name that will to be drawn. Quiet and Path of Exile heavy Swiss stage by Mu. I think he wasn't really sure how many rounds he would play in the second half of the tournament, but we are very glad that he is here and we are hoping that he will make a run in the knockout stage. But now that I see that he's playing Pidgeot, I will recheck that statement because I will be rooting for Pidgey. But anyway, very strong results by Mu. 2 6-0 results to start his tournament, Channel and Script, which set us up for a blockbuster match of Chris X3 versus Mu, but Chris ended up not playing round 3, and after deliberation he dropped out from the entire tournament, which is unfortunate to hear, but of course anyone should just do, it's harder with Chris here, but we respect the decision and I hope everything is fine with you, Chris. This of course kept Mu's win rate at a differential of 6.0. But after that, Mu also skipped one round, which kind of messed with other people's job. Not in a bad way, but of course you can't put Mu against 4-point players. The fair part is that he plays against 3-pointers, and he had a strong result against Channel Joint. And the narrow, was it a reverse sweep or was Dane going for a reverse sweep? But It was an interesting match against Dane, which ended up being a narrow move victory, and as a result, he is now the second seed, the player with the best differential of the whole 51 players, or 49 if you want to say. And definitely still one of the tournament favorites, with the first opponent of Pijero. So, we have the final bracket here, and once again I will just, or rather one more time I will say the matchups. We will have Quatility versus Lord Monk in round 1, and the winner will play the winner of Giannini versus Ducker. The second quarter is Crescent 7 versus In For Fun, and the winner of that will play Alf versus Deinomos. The third quarter is Gregory's quarter, and his first opponent will be Look.png, and the other half of this quarter is Spot the Cat versus Nezuko-chan. And the final quarter will be Moose, or maybe unofficially Scruffy's, but it is Moo versus Pijero and Scruffy versus Kamboychuk for the fourth spot in the semi-finals. We will have 2 very exciting weeks. But first, definitely a very entertaining final day of the Swiss stage. I'm trying to think of the exact schedule, but for the next day, we will see out these final 3 Swiss stage matches. Good luck to everyone, and obviously casters, admins are unaffected and they will be covered as usual. After that, we will have the official standings. These final spots will, of course, clear out. A couple other players on 3 points and, you know, a potential to be top 20, nothing to scoff at. But to my understanding, we will have to wait for the end of the Swiss stage to start the knockout stage in terms of the hit maps scheduling. What this means is that you can already schedule unofficially your round of 16 matches. What we won't be able to guarantee is to give you the RNG maps. But the knockout stage has 2 picks and 1 ban, and the map pool that has reset. So ideally, you know the date, you know the time of your match, and you will know the 4 first maps of your match, which is at least something to start practicing on until we can add it to hit maps tomorrow evening. And I think just for technicality, we've also said that you can't play your round of 16 match before Monday 10 a.m. Central European time, but I wouldn't expect anyone here to already want to play tomorrow, but at least we close that possibility there, just in case. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't open anything bad, but yeah. 2 more weeks left from this competition. Grand final on July the 13th, Sunday, or at least that's the plan. We know at least 1 player who can't make it to 13th, so if he makes the final, then we will have to make some arrangements. But 2 weeks left, plus the final day of Swiss stage tomorrow, all for these last 16 matches to play, or 15 plus the 3rd place playoff if you want. The matches will wind down, but the matches will get longer, first to 8 matches, with 4 picks, and of course the RNG is revealed at the end, but we will get some more, I don't want to say slow placed, because these matches won't be slow, this will be fast and wild, but there will be 2 more points needed for victory, and that will hopefully result in some very exciting, very long matches, maybe over the hour-and-a-half mark, but we'll see. You'll never know with these players, because most of the time they will just first try it in 6 minutes RTA, even if it's a big 5 map. So very exciting times here, and I won't leave you guys here any longer. That has been the knockout stage draw, and best of luck to all 16 players that will be remaining after tomorrow, and one of these players will be the R17 champion. We have talked about this tomorrow, but there's Giannini, there's Ducker, there's myself, there's Scruffy, and there's Pijero, 5 former champions, but somehow the tide finally shifts, and this may be a time where a new champion is crowned in just 2 weeks' time. We will have to see that. Thank you everyone for watching. Good luck to everyone. See you soon, and goodbye.